Leeds is a faith national NGO which has been responding to the needs of Sri Lankan communities for the last 35 years. It's with great pleasure I'd like to introduce the CEO of Leeds, Mr. Roshan Mendes, and Geraldine from Operation Hope. Good morning and welcome to our program.
Good morning.
Good morning. Very nice to be here.
Roshan, first of all, will you be able to briefly tell us about Leeds?
Yeah, so Leeds began with the Eastern Cyclone
That was
back
in
in 1978,
Okay.
yes. And at that time there was definitely a feeling of compassion for what was happening, and a group of people got together and set up the work. And we were registered in 1983 as a charity by an Act of Parliament. And since then we have been working over all parts of the country in three main sectors of work. We do child protection, and that is one of the key aspects of our work. We work in communities, which is also child focused, and we respond to crises, and that has been our main focus. We work in 13 districts of the country, irrespective of area and where we are. We work with the most marginalized people within our nation and have been responding to their needs.
Okay. And you have over 100 volunteers helping the organization.
Yeah. We have over 100 staff. In fact, for the recent flood intervention that took place a couple of months ago, we had over 430 volunteers who came alongside to carry out the work that we were doing in the flood response.
Okay.
And in that, I think we covered about 50 million rupees worth of work in these last 2 months. Yeah.
And since after the cyclone, what are the other projects have you done?
We cover a range. Our approach is basically to work with the community from anything to 3 to 9 years, sometimes even more. And these communities are very backward, very marginalized, and our intention is to be able to link them into government services at the end of the day, where they can then bring themselves out of the situations that they're in. And in that process, there is a very participatory process in which the community identifies what their needs are, and we try to link them to that in meeting that need. And that can be anything from health, it can be supply of water, it can be early learning for children, preschool kind of education, it can be catch-up classes, it is health, it is small-scale infrastructure, it is vocational training, it is granting of small assistance for entrepreneurship in businesses that they can set themselves up. And that is the kind of community work. So it's anything that the community requires. In fact, just right now the community has been asking us in down in the southern coast, in Tammannawa, they've been asking us to help them reconstruct and rehabilitate a water tank, a reservoir, for their cultivation. So that's the kind of request that we receive from a preschool to this kind of major infrastructure projects as well. Along with that, we provide a very unique service in the country, and I would say we are perhaps the only organization that provides a comprehensive range of services in child protection. We were instrumental in setting up the National Child Protection Authority in the country. In fact, the first deputy chairman of the National Child Protection Authority was a colleague of mine who was seconded from Leeds to serve as a deputy chair for the National Child Protection Authority. And we provide in the country, in the Western Province, definitely the only residential therapy center for survivors of child sexual abuse. Right now the government has been urging us and pushing us, and we are in the process of trying to set it up, of a similar residential center for therapy for survivors of child sexual abuse in the Northern Province. So we are looking out for land and looking out for partnerships to set that up. And in that we provide therapy services for children for a period of up to 3 months, in which they go through a whole process with the psychologists. We have 3 full-time psychologists on the staff of Leeds, along with family workers who work with the families of these children and trying to trace their families, because sometimes they've got lost in the system. We work with preschool teachers, and we've covered around the last 5 years in the Ratnapura district. We have covered about 900 schools, training preschool teachers in being the first identifiers of children that might be coming into abuse. Also providing tools for children to protect themselves from that. And then of course, as from our inception with the cyclone, crises has been one of the key aspects of our work. We've been a key contributor to the tsunami. We have a presidential award for work in the tsunami as well. And we were one of the lead agencies for housing and rehabilitation during the tsunami. And that has been part of, we were with the war. At one time we were feeding almost over 80,000 people 3 meals a day while they were in the Manic Farm camps during that period that they were there. And recently with the flood relief in Colombo district and up in Aranaka in Kegol. So those have been our DNA basically. So I would say 3 C's. We have the children, we have the community, and we have crises.
Roshan, now all the excellent work you're doing, is that the government body or someone approaching you to help them out? How does it all work?
Yeah, that is the system that we operate within. So for example, in identifying the villages that we work in, the government has a list of villages that are unserved or underserved. And we pick from the bottom of the pile. Then we do our own assessments in those villages and then determine, okay, these are the ones that are most vulnerable or the most deserving of the underserved. And then we work with those. So it's a system that comes through the government, and we are accountable to the government agent and the divisional secretary for the work that we do. With the children, 95% of the cases are referred through the Ministry of Justice, the courts, and the probation and child care services. We have about 5% that come in directly. But all of our services that way are linked with the government. And of course the government doesn't give any money towards that, but we provide the services. And even with crises, we work with the Disaster Management Center in identifying, where we need to work, what we need to do, who are the people that we need to serve, which camps should we be working in. And that has been the approach we've taken to maintain accountability and also the coordination system within the country.
With all the excellent work you are doing to our motherland, how do you get your funding?
That is one of the biggest challenges, because we are a national agency and we have to compete for the funding with the international NGOs that are on the ground. And one of the challenges we have is meeting the kind of benefits and packages that the corporate sector and the INGOs will be paying their people as opposed to what we can pay. And we depend on partnerships, and partnerships like Operation Hope is one of those in which we have been working with them, and people can continue to support us through them as a means to the work that we do.
Okay. Geraldine, you've been with Operation Hope.
Yes.
How does it work? You work in conjunction with Leeds.
Yes, so Operation Hope is a not-for-profit organization that exists to assist in extreme poverty, marginalization, and injustice. So some of our projects involved that we've done with Leeds is our Sister Act program, which helps females to about health awareness programs. So these programs are then, depending on the area in Sri Lanka that they're at, they are tailored to like Sinhala or Tamil. And then recently we are also involved with Leeds in Kilinochchi within an educational program.
Okay. Now your organization, Operation Hope, how do you raise your funds?
So we usually raise our funds through traditional methods where we would have people who donate regularly. We have regular events, so we will have a walkathon and like a trivia night, and so we pretty much rely on people coming to these events and supporting us. And then once they do come to the event, they get awareness of what work we do. Mm-hmm. And you can also get awareness of what work we do on our website. It's www.operationhope.org.au.
Okay. So how long has Operation Hope has been going doing this excellent work in Australia?
Operation Hope has been existing for the past 15 years. Okay. We mainly work in Sri Lanka and Swaziland. Mm-hmm. And recently one of our big projects in Swaziland is building classrooms and toilets in Swaziland, in Sitegi.
Geraldine, if any of our viewers want to help Operation Hope, how can they contact
Yes,
you?
the best way of contact is to go on our website.
Mm.
It's www.operationhopeinc.org.au, or you can call the number on our website as well.
Okay. Anyway, let me congratulate Leeds and Operation Hope. You're doing a great job to associate to our motherland, and keep up the good work, and let me wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Derek.
you.
Thank you.